Hi, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Elizabeth, and today we're going to be breaking down the anatomy of an acoustic guitar. We have a lot to cover, and I'm so excited to go through it with you. We're going to start from one end of the guitar and work to the other. This is my personal guitar. It's a Luna Acoustic Electric, and it was a birthday gift from an amazing friend, and I love it so much. So, starting from here, we have the headstock of the guitar. The headstock is very important because it holds the string post, which are these little metal bits in the center here. And these are connected to the tuning pegs, which go along the side of the headstock. And as the name suggests, when you turn the peg, it tunes the guitar, like this. Alright, now that we've done the top, let's move on to the next section. So the next part of the guitar we'll be learning about today is the neck. And the neck is this entire section of the guitar. When you go up the neck, you move your hand toward yourself. And when you go down the neck, you move your hand away. You can remember because the notes get higher as you go up and lower as you go down. At the top of the neck, we have the nut, which is one of the points of the guitar that holds all the strings in place. This is what it looks like up close. You can see how it perfectly holds the strings into place at the proper height from the fretboard. What's a fretboard? Usually it's a different wood than the rest of the guitar, and it's laminated to the front of the neck. You can see when I turn it on its side that it's a different color than the rest of the wood on the neck of the guitar. So the fretboard, or the fingerboard as some people call it, is where all the magic happens. This is where you play the guitar by putting your fingers down on the strings and onto the fretboard so you can make chords. You might be wondering why it's called a fretboard. You might not be wondering why it's called a fretboard. Either way, I'm going to tell you. The frets that the fretboard is referring to is these little guys. A fret is a raised up piece of metal that reaches all the way across the width of the neck. Now, all these frets divide the guitar into intervals. Psst, an interval is the difference in pitch between two sounds. So each fret represents a semitone in an octave. To put it into less music theory terms, each one of these little boxes is a note, and when we put our boxes together, we can build a chord. If you do want to learn a little more about music theory though, leave a comment down below and I can cover some basics in a future video. Now, two quick things before we move on to the rest of the guitar. The frets are numbered, so this would be your first fret, your second fret, your third fret, and so on and so forth. A super helpful part of the guitar is these little guys, position markers. Now, mine are shaped like cycles of the moon, but typically they're small circles that are on the fretboard that indicate what fret you're at. They're very useful and just about on every single guitar. But how am I supposed to see them if they're on the front of the neck, you may ask? First off, I would like to say you have a lot of great questions today. Good job. And second, I want to show you this. The position markers are also along the neck of your guitar. That way you can see them while you're playing. Next up, strings. Pretty simple, really. I have steel strings on my guitar. In my last video, I talked about the differences between steel strings and nylon strings and the effects they have on your guitar. So if you haven't seen that video yet, go check it out. Moving right along, we have the body of the guitar. The body is made up of three pieces: the soundboard, which is the front, the sides, and then the back. Different types of woods give guitars different sounds. Another factor is the shape and size of the guitar's body. It all comes down to the vibrations and the way they bounce around inside the guitar's body. For example, my guitar has something known as a cutaway. I'm going to put on the screen right now a few examples of other guitar body shapes. As you can see, there's a wide variety. A few more terms for your guitar. This smaller section on top is called the upper bout. Where the guitar body curves in, that's known as the waist. And this whole bottom section is known as the lower bout. This cutout in the center of the body of the guitar is known as the sound hole. It's not the main source of the guitar's sound, but it does help with projection. As you can see, my guitar doesn't have a perfectly round circular hole like most guitars do. And that's because of the rosette, a decorative pattern that goes around the sound hole. There really isn't any function to it. It just gives the guitar some character. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are almost finished. For this next piece, I'm going to throw up a picture of a guitar so you guys can see what I'm talking about. As you can see on this guitar, there is something called a pick guard next to the sound hole. My guitar doesn't have this now, but when I first started playing, it was definitely a lifesaver. The pick guard does exactly what it says. It guards the soundboard from getting all scratched up when you play with a guitar pick. I definitely would recommend getting a guitar with a pick guard if you're just starting out because you don't want to scratch up your guitar. Now remember how at the top of the guitar we have the nut to hold all the strings in? Well, down on the body we have the bridge. The bridge is this long piece across the body of the guitar. On top of the bridge we have the saddle. The saddle's job is to hold the strings at the right height above the fretboard. And these down here are the bridge pins, and they make sure that the guitar strings stay locked in. And last but certainly not least, the guitar strap button. As you can see, this little guy holds securely onto the guitar strap to make sure that it's not going anywhere. Some guitars come with 2 strap buttons, and some only come with 1, so that will affect what kind of strap you need to buy for your guitar. Okay, I know that was a lot of information to take in all at once, so give yourself a pat on the back. If you ever want to review or maybe feel like you missed something, just rewatch this video. I'll also include this helpful photo in case you ever need it for reference. If you learned something from this video, remember to like, share with a friend, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Lessons by Elizabeth, links in the description down below, and I post here every single Friday, so I'll see you next week. Bye!